Yeah. Pull up a chair. Real stories only. No filters. No cap. Staxx in the building. Chattin with Staxx. Where the real ones talk. Every scar got a story. Every mile got a walk. From the cell block walls to a brand new path. Everybody got a pass when you're chatting with Staxx. Chattin with Staxx. Let the truth come out. No fake headlines. No manufactured clout. Just life on the table. Every lesson attached. You might leave change when you're chatting with Staxx. Seen no bikers. Seen ex-cons too. Seen folks rebuild when they thought they were through. Some came from violence. Some came from pain. Some lost everything and got it all back again. Microphone on, let the conversation breathe. Everybody got something hidden up they sleeve. Not preaching perfection, not selling the dream. Just showing what survival really means. The streets leave marks that the cameras can't see. Years of hard lessons become history. Some carry regret, some carry pride. Some still fighting demons they can never quite hide. With Staxx, where the real ones talk. Every scar got a story, every mile got a walk. From the cell block walls to a brand new path. Everybody got a pass when you're chatting with Staxx. One guest says prison changes whole view. Another says sobriety pulled them through. One talks motorcycles, another talks faith. Everybody trying to find their place. No Hollywood script, no polished disguise. You can see the truth sitting right in their eyes. The road gets rough, everybody knows, but strength is measured by how far you grow. Some lost brothers, some buried friends, some hit rock bottom and climb back again. That's why people listen when the stories get deep, because real recognizes real in every scene with Staxx. Where the real ones talk. Every star got a story, every mile got a walk. From the cell block walls to a brand new path. Everybody got a pass when you're chatting with Staxx. Chatting with Staxx.
Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we're going to talk about the White Oak shooting that claimed the life of a War Dogs member. Case is crazy. We're going to get into it. I've been covering this case ever since it came out. We got a bunch of other things to talk about today. Before we get started, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your mother's brother, sister's friend about Chattin with Staxx, the dopest motorcycle content on YouTube. I appreciate all you guys taking the time to watch the show. If you want to donate to the show, you can hit up the Cash App at Chattin with Staxx, or you can hit up Venmo, PayPal, Super Stickers, Super Chats, Zelle, all that good stuff. YouTube takes 30%. I mean, that's a lot of money for them to take. So if you want to bypass YouTube's cut they take, just hit up the Cash App or any other ways to donate. And I appreciate every single dollar. I put it right back into the show. And if you want to tell your story on Chattin with Staxx, just email me at billstaxx2021@gmail.com. Or if you have a business, you want to promote it, something like that. And I do videography work. I do editing. I do thumbnails. I do shorts. I do all kinds of stuff for different people. So if you need anything like that done, just hit me up at billstaxx2021@gmail.com. And I will hook you up. But thank you all for joining me today. I hope you guys are having a great day. Shout out to all my subscribers. I got the best chat in the business. We got in the building. Lindsay, how are you? Thank you for joining me. I appreciate everything you do for this channel. Make sure you check out Patreon. Check out Spotify. I'm going to be uploading some new videos today. JP, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. Ken, good afternoon. Mile High Magic is in the house. Wilson, what's going on? Thank you guys all for joining me. I'm sure you guys remember this situation, right? So I got a video to play for you guys. When this situation first happened, it was a pretty big deal. So what came first was this big bar brawl, right? And people didn't know what it was all about because, I mean, it was a pretty new case, right? But all these guys came to this bar and smashed up the bar and beat some guy up in there. People didn't know what the hell was going on, but it turns out it was a broader thing, right? So let's take a look at this video.
Hearings held in Washington County today in connection with a big bar fight between biker clubs last summer. Police say members of the War Dogs and Pagans fought at the 40 Bar and Grill in North Franklin Township last August, fighting with clubs not.
It wasn't members. There was one person, I believe, right? There was I think there was 3 Pagans that were there. So apparently, from what I gather, right, is that the guy that was killed was an enforcer for the War Dogs. He was going to be arrested for this whole bar incident. He was going to be arrested, but he ended up getting killed. So that kind of stopped that, right?
Knives and gunshots fired into the air outside. Ross Gadati was at the Washington County Courthouse for those hearings.
There were 18 sheriff's deputies in the courtroom for what was a marathon preliminary hearing featuring testimony from investigators who say the victims in this case were simply men in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they were brutally beaten as a result. Testimony began with the bartender on duty at 40 Bar in Franklin Township, Washington County, the night of the beating. Her name, Julie Couture. She told the court how dozens of members of the War Dogs Motorcycle Club walked into the bar shortly after midnight on October 17th last summer. Couture testified that not long after they arrived, War Dogs member Kenneth Hayman allegedly began attacking Jordan Henderson, who's a member of the Pagans Motorcycle Club, a rival club from that of the War Dogs. He was already at the bar. Some 10 other War Dogs allegedly jumped in and started beating him as well. Couture says that Henderson's face was swollen, bloody, beaten, and unrecognizable. Investigators say that Corey Palmer just happened to arrive, also a pagan. He got a bat or an axe handle out and began attacking War Dog members. He went back to his truck allegedly, grabbed a gun from his vehicle, and began firing in the air. Not long after that, he took off. One of the 10.
And that's crazy because one of the War Dogs had a weapon too. I mean, it was in the video. You could see it in the video that he had a weapon.
Defendants, a guy by the name of Benjamin Bowman, was charged in the brawl. His attorney says this wasn't anything more when it comes to his client in particular.
See, but at the time, nobody was charged with this brawl. So people didn't know what the hell happened. They thought these guys just went there, smashed up the place, and left. And those 2 girls came on and did interviews about it, how they were scared and the whole place was smashed up. Remember that?
Particular than a nasty bar fight.
This case was frustrating relative to my client because I think it was overblown. They tried to make this out to be a little bit more juicy than what it was. My client was present at a bar where a fight occurred. They tried to attribute that fight to an outlaw motorcycle gang. That's not what this was.
Now, in October of last
I mean, you the lawyer's going to say whatever he's got to say, right?
year, Kenneth Hayman, who allegedly began the assault at the bar against Henderson, was shot to death in White Oak. 3 alleged members of the Pagans motorcycle gang were arrested and charged with Henderson's alleged homicide. Investigators say there is no known connection, at least not now. They're looking into it, between what happened at the bar and what happened to Henderson in October of last year. Now, regarding all of the counts against all these defendants, the RICO charges against all of them were thrown out. The judge said there simply wasn't enough evidence for that. The other charges were held for court. 4 individuals remain in the Washington County Jail. 4 remain out on bond. 2 others, also in the Washington County Jail, waived this hearing today. No trial date has been set. In Washington, Washington County, Ross Gadati, KDKA TV News.
So it turns out that it was connected. And I'm going to show you guys. So 3 members have been found guilty or they pleaded guilty. White Oak slaying linked to Pagans and War Dogs brawl yields 3 guilty pleas. 1 of 3 men charged in deadly attack of motorcyclists in White Oak last year that authorities linked to the Washington County bar brawl between motorcycle clubs pleaded guilty Monday to 3rd-degree homicide. Jacob Baker, 34, Mount Pleasant, will serve 15 to 30 years in state prison for the October 12th attack that killed Kenneth Hayman. He was 33 years old. He had a wife and a kid. So really sad. I mean, this is all senseless shit, right? But this dude will spend 30 years in prison. I mean, that's like your whole life. It's basically the rest of your life, right? And it says 2 other defendants, Victor Cruz, 28, and Albert Recchio, 38, both pleaded guilty to lesser charges in Allegheny County Commons Plea Court in connection with the incident. All 3 were sentenced by a judge, part of a plea deal with prosecutors. The assistant district attorney told the court that Hayman was on his motorcycle at the intersection of Jacks Run Road and Lincoln Way around 2:15 p.m. the day the Chevy Silverado pulled up behind him. 3 men dressed in black and wearing ski masks exited the truck, headed towards Hayman, who got off his motorcycle, ran away. At least one of the attackers was carrying an axe handle. Hayman pulled out a gun, as did Baker. Prosecutors continued that they exchanged gunfire. So this dude did pull out a weapon. He didn't just run away and that was it. He did, I think he was like trying to get cover. Because, I mean, he's stuck on his motorcycle in an intersection, right? So he pulled out a weapon, as did Baker, and prosecutors continued that they exchanged gunfire. The suspect fled. Hayman collapsed nearby Wendy's, and he died from gunshot wounds to the torso. Witnesses identified the 3 suspects, and we seen the video of the girls in the plaza saying that they seen the people. Cruz was driving the pickup truck. Renchko was in the front seat passenger, and Baker rode in the back. They conspired to attack Hayman. They believed he had been involved in the assault in Washington County 2 months earlier. The prosecutors described the scheme as the men tracked Hayman, including switching license plates, destroying evidence to cover up their activities. According to Washington County prosecutors, Hayman was a member of the War Dogs Motorcycle Club and was the aggressor during a bar fight at 40 Bar and Grill on August 17th. Jordan Henderson, a member of the Pagans Motorcycle Club, was brutally beaten inside the bar after midnight by at least 10 members of the War Dogs, prosecutors said. The attack included bottles, bats, and axe handles. 10 people were held for trial in that case following preliminary hearings in January. Although Cruz made no statement in court following his plea deal, Recchio and Baker briefly spoke. I do want to apologize to his daughter. This is a terrible loss. It's terrible to lose your father. I do wish the circumstances were different, Baker said. I'm sorry for what happened. If I could take it back, I would. You see, these things are senseless. Like, there's no reason. And now these people are going to be in prison. This guy's gone. For what? For nothing. Cruz pleaded guilty to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He's ordered to serve 5 years of probation and 100 hours community service. Renchko who will get credit for more than 9 months of time served, was ordered to serve 4 years probation, 100 hours community service. The prosecutor read a statement in court by Hayman's fiancee, Brittany. Told the court Hayman was a outgoing and loving father. In an instant, everything we built together, everything we built for our future was taken away, she wrote. She called Hayman her safe place. He made ordinary days feel special, she said. He made me feel loved, protected, and cared for. When Hayman was killed, their daughter was 9 months old. As of today, he's been gone half of her life. Their daughter, Coral said, will never have a father at their milestones in her life. First day of school, graduation, wedding day. Those memories were stolen from her before she even had a chance to keep them. Hayman's aunt, Christine, also addressed the court. She told the judge that Hayman was like a son to her. She's devastated by the loss, and her entire family is. I mean, it's a sad situation, right? It's all senseless. For what? So let's see what's going on with that other situation. I'm trying to see if I could find out what's going on with them in court for the assault charge, because 10 people still have to deal with that situation. It says 10 people are still held. 10 bikers are to stand trial. Prosecutors say the attack was part of a gang turf war. Defense called it a bar fight gone wrong, gone way too far, he said. So it says here, hold on a second. It says the judge Friday tossed out dozens of charges stemming from the violent brawl that took place last year in Washington County Bar. Prosecutors called it years-long turf battle between outlaw motorcycle gangs. Authorities accused the defendant of savagely beating a bar patron from a rival gang with bottles, bats, and axe handles. The melee at 40 Bar and Grill in North Franklin involved members of the War Dogs who attacked a member of the Pagans Motorcycle Club, according to investigators. Prosecutors said at least 10 members of the War Dogs savagely beat Jordan Henderson in the bar after midnight, August 17, 2025. Secrecy surrounded the case following the arrest in early December. I didn't even hear about the arrest either. That's crazy. Criminal complaint against the defendants were sealed by a judge at the request of the district attorney, meaning details about the incident remained hidden until Friday. Then the paperwork was made publicly available. Preliminary hearing took place under extraordinary security. Court administrators moved it from a local office in the district to Washington County Courthouse, where up to 19 sheriff's deputies and about 5 or 6 times the typical number manning a hearing there. Cycled in and out of the courtroom. Authorities used police dogs to screen people entering the building and outside the courtroom. The judge who presided over the 7-hour preliminary hearing threw out multiple conspiracy, robbery, and criminal mischief charges against 8 defendants. 2 of the men who were arrested waived their hearings. But the judge held for trial in Washington County Commons plea court numerous charges, including rioting, aggravated assault, simple assault, and harassment. Defense attorneys objected to the depiction of the clash as a turf war between rival motorcycle gangs. Instead, they characterized it as a slugfest, as a fight between 2 men that got out of hand, had nothing to do with alliances or allegiances to any criminal organizations. And then they had a motorcycle gang expert. His name's Jeremy Sheets, a motorcycle gang expert with the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives. Late Night Brawl was one part of the long story that tracked back decades, as he said. It's all built around respect. You need to know your enemies are, Sheets, who worked out of Washington, D.C., testified Friday. When a smaller club comes into your territory, it's an act of war, he said. This dude's, he's a fucking ATF agent. What the fuck does he know about any of that? Frank, what's going on? Thank you for joining us today. Black Dragon Classy 8 Diamond Art. How are you? Jason's in the building. My High Magic. Thank you guys all for joining me today. Let's see. And then obviously it says all the names of the people. One guy's 75 years old. Another's 30, 40, 55, 31, 32, 53, 43, 44, 43. I mean, these guys are all older. One of them 75 years old, they arrested him. The judge refused to change any of the terms of release. Some defendants are being held on bail of $250,000 while others posted bond and were released from jail. Sheets testified that the War Dogs chapter were created in part of a dominant biker group called the Outlaws. He said pagans are active in Western Pennsylvania, are now Outlaws' rivals, and would not have wanted the War Dogs in their territory or at a bar deemed their own. Surveillance video repeatedly shows a large TV screen during the hearing showing more than a dozen motorcycles driving to the bar's parking lot alongside Route 40 around 2:30 a.m. Bartender Julia Quinteri was working a double shift that day and testified that she'd been tending bar since 10 a.m. She said about 20 to 30 War Dogs, maybe more than that, came inside the bar or loitered in the parking lot. She said she found it odd that all of the bikers ordered glass bottles of beer, just one each. At least 16 of the men later used the bottles, as well as their feet, blunt objects like baseball bats and axe handles to attack Henderson. Almost immediately after Henderson entered the bar, the bartender testified a patron confronted him with a racial slur. And then the entire group of them started fighting. She said she watched him get beat to the point where he was unrecognizable. The beating lasted 10 minutes, she estimated. She called her boss, the owner, Cheyenne Dennison, who called 911. Before Pennsylvania State Police arrived, the War Dogs attacked a second man identified as another pagan member. Surveillance video showed the man, his white T-shirt red with blood, later ran to the parking lot. He fired multiple rounds, most of them into the air, as the attackers drove away from the club. Both Quinteri and Dennison testified, so they both testified, both of the bartenders. Someone threw a brick at his vehicle, according to the criminal complaint. Some patrons fled the bar. When the fight broke out, surveillance video shows a woman could be heard screaming, "Stop it right now. Gun, gun." One man shouted amongst the chaos. Some war dogs held down Henderson and snatched a concealed gun, while others beat him, prosecutors said, and the video shows it. Defense attorneys didn't buy it. They argued that their clients were defending themselves during mutual combat and that the fight was never a conspiracy among rival gangs. The attorney dismissed the testimony of the ATF, Sheets, and state trooper about prior incidents dating back to 2017 that prosecutors alleged showed a pattern of violence. Prosecutors did not claim any of the 10 suspects in August's attack were involved in other biker brawl incidents. This is all speculation. It's junk, one attorney interjected. The defense attorney also criticized the lack of evidence proving their clients were members of the War Dogs. Sheets confirmed the group had no roster, few paper trails about membership. One thing they do have is a fucking social media account. I mean, state troopers said, however, they didn't fit the defense attorney's narrative. Police executed search warrants and found War Dog memorabilia, related items at each home of the 8 defendants. They testified that included clothing as well as cuts, which are denim or leather vests bearing the group's name, slogan, and colors. Surveillance videos showed one of the War Dogs wave his fingers in a circular motion before the beating, something prosecutors argued was a signal or a cue to battle, they said. That was simply a sign, Sheets testified. That's telling other individuals, let's go. Some allegiances with the 2 outfits were not disputed. Dennison, the bar owner, admitted to cross-examination that she dates a member of the Pagans. At least 2 Pagans were regulars at her establishment. Kenneth Hayman, the War Dog member who prosecutors called the aggressor behind the fight, was killed in White Oak months after the summer attack. Police said the killing could have been retribution for the beating of Henderson. 3 people were arrested. Defense attorneys argued that the lack of evidence about the photographs of Henderson's injuries from the attack. Henderson was among 30 to 35 court watchers Friday who dropped in and out of the courtroom. He did not testify. He also declined to speak with reporters. They could have brought out the doctor who treated Henderson, defense attorney said. They told the judge they could have brought out Henderson. He's right outside, but they didn't, he said. 4 defendants marched into the courtroom shackled with their wrists and ankles, sporting loose-fitting orange jumpsuits. Tattoos marked several shaved heads, bushy goatees, and one defendant stretched down to his belly, tattooed Mom Club. Tattooed Mom's Club read the flannel of one woman in the crowd. 2 other women wore Harley-Davidson shirts. After the lengthy hearing, Washington County District Attorney said he was happy to see the case proceed to trial. We're not going to tolerate violence anywhere, Walsh said, let alone crime in a business like aggravated assault. Defense attorney who represented the War Dogs told reporters outside the courtroom he was pleased with Friday's outcome. They are about the big motorcycle gang rivalries, this big feud. It's clearly this motorcycle club had nothing to do with this fight, he said. So what do you guys think is going to happen with this this whole trial? I mean, by now they might have already pled out to it, right? But for now, the 3 people who claimed to be responsible for Kenneth Hayman's death in broad daylight. You remember they were looking for that truck, and then they found it down the road. This was a big deal at the time. I believe it happened like almost a year to the day almost, right? And that's pretty quick how they can wrap up the case that fast. I mean, for the case to be already over with. I mean, the assault case in that bar isn't even over with, and they already took care of the one that happened after that. It's insane. So we got another story to tell you guys about. Let's see here. This has to do with the Comancheros Motorcycle Club out of New Zealand. Out of commission. Now, the Comancheros president allegedly ran a criminal empire from prison. For many criminal leaders, prison marks the end of their influence. And I can't pronounce this dude's name. We'll call him Paz. His name's like Palalaka or some shit. Prosecutors argue he became his new headquarters, New Zealand Court of Appeals. His subsequently increased prison sentence of the Comancheros Motorcycle Club president, after finding he continued to direct large-scale criminal activity while incarcerated. The ruling paints a picture of organization whose leadership structure remained intact despite its leader being locked behind bars. According to court documents, he admitted to organizing violent hit squad and laundering more than $4 million while serving prison time. Authorities say he used trusted associates outside prison walls to carry out orders, move money, and force discipline through the club. The appeal decision significantly increases his prison sentence, with the judge concluding the original punishment failed to reflect the seriousness of the offending and continued leadership role. I mean, what do you do with someone like that? I mean, he goes to prison for a long time, right? And he's still making moves. So, I mean, what they're going to do with him is put him in a hole, right? And he probably won't have visitors. They will restrict all his movement. It'll be a nightmare for him in prison now. Investigators say the Comancheros Motorcycle Club rapidly established itself as one of New Zealand's most sophisticated organized crime groups after expanding from Australia. Law enforcement alleges the club became deeply involved in the importation and distribution of methamphetamine while developing an extensive money laundering network designed to disguise its criminal profits. Authorities claim millions of dollars flowed through the businesses, bank accounts, and third parties in an effort to conceal the proceeds of drug trafficking. Despite being behind bars, prosecutors argued that he remained the organization's central decision maker. Court evidence indicated the orders continued flowing from prison through associates who maintained contact with him, allowing him to influence the direction of the club and oversee significant criminal operations. One of the striking findings presented during the appeal, he allegedly reshaped the club's leadership structure while incarcerated. Rather than allowing his imprisonment to weaken the organization, prosecutors said he created a new version for the club. Delegate authority to trusted members, continued issuing instructions concerning finances and enforcement. Authorities allege this included organizing a group tasked with carrying out violence against perceived enemies while simultaneously overseeing complex financial transactions intended to disguise the criminal proceeds. The Court of Appeals concluded that this level of continued control demonstrated that imprisonment alone had not relinquished his leadership role. Financial investigators spent years tracking the movement of more than $4 million that prosecutors said was laundered through the network of individuals and businesses connected to the organization. Money laundering remains the key focus for New Zealand's law enforcement because it allows organized crime groups to transform proceeds of illegal activity into seemingly legitimate assets. By targeting financial infrastructure, authorities hope to weaken criminal organizations beyond simply arresting individual members. And a tougher sentence is coming. The Court of Appeals ultimately ruled that subsequently longer sentences are warranted. The judge emphasized that his position as president, combined with the continuing ability to direct criminal activity from prison, placed him among the country's highest-ranking organized crime figures. The ruling sends a clear message that the leadership roles in criminal conduct carried out while incarcerated will attract increasingly severe penalties. This case reflects New Zealand's broader campaign against organized crime, particularly motorcycle clubs involved in large-scale drug trafficking, money laundering investigations. Law enforcement agencies have increasingly focused on dismantling leadership structure, seizing criminal assets, and targeting financial networks rather than relying solely on arrests. Officials argued that disrupting the flow of money is often just as important as prosecuting those responsible for violent crimes. The prosecutors, the appeal represents another milestone in that strategy for organized crime groups. It serves as a reminder that prison walls may no longer shield leaders from accountability for crimes committed beyond the cell door. So what do you think of that? I mean, this dude's making power moves from behind prison walls. I mean, so this case that we talked about yesterday, if you haven't seen the show from yesterday, go check it out. This case is all over the news. This is one of the biggest cases in Scotland right now that they're talking about. This dude, they attacked this dude with machetes. Sounds like the ATF's living off a pipe dream, 100%. Hey, Grapes, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. No Grow, what's going on? Gory Rory, give respect, get respect. It ain't rocket science, right? Herman, what's going on, man? How are you? Thank you for joining me today, Herman. Gory Rory, how are you? Al Roseberry's in the house. Shout out to BC, Canada. Have you guys seen that new someone gonna do the 302? Someone's gonna do a 302 like Gotti Jr. Uh-oh. You guys seen that new law in Florida, right? People are freaking out over that new law in Florida for some reason. So we got, let's see. This is out of Tennessee. Joshua Mumpower ID'd as the victim in Thursday's Bristol fatal motorcycle crash. This is out of Bristol, Tennessee. The Bristol, Tennessee Fire Department. Joshua Mumpower, 43, of Bristol, Tennessee, was identified as a victim in Thursday morning's motorcycle crash on Volunteer Parkway in Bristol, Tennessee. According to Bristol, Tennessee Police Department authorities said the collision involved Mumpower's motorcycle and a pickup truck crossing the roadway. Bristol is located northwest Tennessee along Virginia state line. The fatal crash occurred at the 2600 block of Volunteer Parkway, a major commercial corridor through the city. According to the Bristol, Tennessee Police Department, officers responded to the scene around 6:15 a.m. Thursday following reports of a collision involving a motorcycle and a pickup truck. Investigators said the pickup truck was attempting to cross the roadway and struck by the motorcycle traveling northbound on Volunteer Parkway. Mumpower, the operator of the motorcycle, sustained critical injuries in the collision, transported to a local hospital for emergency treatment. So I got a crazy story here for you guys. So this is a wild one. You see this picture? So a dad was shot dead after being kidnapped by his boss, by his own boss. This is out of California. A California father of 3 was abducted from his home and murdered by his own boss. Officials claim with his brutal killing captured on video. Shakur Alabar, 60 years old, was nabbed outside his Chino Hills home Wednesday night after inspecting an electrical panel to a house after the power went out. Authorities claim, I can't even pronounce that shit, Zinhan Bo, 67, bundled the man into a vehicle and drove off. The 2 men are accused of taking police on a high-speed chase for 2 miles before home surveillance footage showed a man exiting the vehicle. He then walked to the trunk of the car with his hands in the air before opening it and shooting the man dead. That's crazy. So the cops chased him, right? He gets out of the car. The cops chase the car. He gets out of the car, goes like this, goes to the trunk, opens it, and shoots the dude. What? And this is the aftermath. So deputies then opened fire on the man. Emergency teams responded to the scene, found both men dead. One of the men was taken into custody, so I guess there was 3 guys. According to the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, these guys knew each other. Business records show. California Post indicated that it was his boss. I mean, why would he do that to his own worker, right? Makes no sense. So this is the video of him pushing him in the trunk. So they work together for a limited liability firm. That's like an insurance place, right? The business, a real estate investment company, is based out of one of the men's homes in Irvine. Reported that both are linked to another firm with 2 businesses currently involved in a lawsuit filed this year. The lawsuit reveals a dispute over a $20 million apartment complex. One of the filings this week, the outlet reported, the attorney telling the outlet it is involved in a $20 million complex in Pasadena. The attorney told the outlet he was suing the former manager of the complex, who claimed we were not allowing him to take control of the complex. So what, you're being sued so you fucking kill your worker and go on this crazy fucking high-speed chase? Let me show you the guy that got kidnapped. That's him. So this is him getting pushed into the trunk. So they go on a high-speed chase. This dude gets out of the trunk and blasts him right in front of the cops. Insane. Like, you really can't make this shit up. Did you guys see that video of the guy jumping off the fucking Brooklyn Bridge yesterday? He survived. He was an Uber Eats driver. I guess he was butt naked and he had a bag with him, the Uber Eats bag, and he tried to use it as a parachute when he jumped off the the Brooklyn Bridge. He survived too. I mean, you can't make this shit up. I got another case I wanted to show you guys too. So, man charged with deadly warehouse shooting tells police the victim told him to shoot for insurance policy. Man charged with fatal shooting at Southwest Side warehouse told police the victim asked him to shoot him because he was having financial problems, according to the arrest affidavit. Augustin Meyer, 53, is charged with capital murder in the death of a 59-year-old Juan Sanchez. The charges allege the killing occurred during the commission of another felony, according to court records. Officers responded at around 1:30 p.m. Saturday to a warehouse at the 300 block of North Franklin Luke Drive after 911 caller reported hearing a man in distress following a gunshot. Affidavit states. When officers arrived, they found Sanchez seated in an office chair with a gunshot wound to the chest. The contents of his wallet were scattered nearby. Mayer was leaving the warehouse when first responders arrived. Officers detained him and found Sanchez's smartwatch in his pocket, according to the affidavit. During an interview with investigators, Mayer said Sanchez had picked him up and helped load tools into his truck, and that the two did not know each other before that day. Mayer told investigators that Sanchez said he was having financial problems and gave him money and a watch and told him shoot him because he had a large insurance policy. What? Surveillance video shows Mayer and Sanchez were the only two people inside the warehouse when the shooting occurred. While searching the warehouse, investigators found a revolver beneath a blue bandana that Mayer appeared to be wearing in surveillance video. According to the affidavit, the gun was not found near Sanchez. Family members told investigators Sanchez had one life insurance policy, though, through his employer. Mayer was booked into the Bexar County Jail on Sunday, and his bail was set at $600,000. If convicted, he faces either the death penalty or life in prison. Do you think that defense will work? He told me to do it. He told me to do it. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. Never a dull moment. No, doesn't sound like it. But I appreciate all you guys. Thank you guys for joining me today. I got a real good show for you guys tomorrow. I got some new information, and I'm going to be dropping it tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. This is going to shock you guys. And this has to do with Canada. So stay tuned. Join me tomorrow, 12 o'clock. Don't miss the show. I really appreciate all you guys taking the time to watch the show. If you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your mother's brother, sister's friend about Chattin With Staxx, the dopest motorcycle content on YouTube. If you want to donate to the show, you can hit up the Cash App at Chattin With Staxx. Or Venmo, PayPal, Super Sticker, Super Chat, Zelle, all that good stuff. I got a new YouTube. It's called Getting Stacks with Staxx, where I go to the casino and gamble, and I videotape it. So I'm going to be putting some new videos on there. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Getting Stacks with Staxx. It's going to be, I'm going to show you the wins, the losses. I'm going to keep it real. I'm not going to be, I'm going to show you exactly what it is. So if you guys like that type of content, go subscribe to Getting Staxx with Staxx. Thank you guys. I hope you have a great day. And remember, don't be a bitch.
And all new at 5, a major organized crime bust. 23 people under arrest now accused of stealing guns and cash.
Today, police revealed 4 organized crime groups are wreaking havoc.
From aggravated robbery to kidnapping, burglary, and more. Let's take a look at this. New pictures from court documents in this case. These are a few of the people who have been charged. And investigators say the money, tens of thousands of dollars, is all stolen.